Hi, I'm Nathan Thornberry with the Inspector Services Group, and you may know us as Priority Lab or Inspector Lab. They're both different names for the same thing. It's our environmental lab based in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, serving the entirety of the U.S. and Canada with overnight shipping from everywhere. And one fun fact about Inspector Lab and Priority Lab is that we get samples out the same day. If it's a mold sample or an asbestos sample that arrives at our office, and again, probably 99% of what comes into our office is overnighted and part of a real estate transaction, so speed is key. When we get that in, we stay until it's out. And unless it comes in real late in the day, and even then sometimes we make it happen. But then home inspectors and environmental testing professionals, everybody that we work with, they're out in the field a lot. And then they come home at the end of the day, and their expectation is that they can go to their email box and check it and make sure that they have their report, the stuff that comes from our lab, and then that they can prepare whatever they want to do and send it off to their clients. And I can't imagine the frustration level that they would have if we didn't have 24-hour access to our entire system. And I'm going to show you how to do that here because, I do get the occasional message in social media, email, text, etc., from some of our thousands of clients that are, they get home and they don't see the report. And there's a couple reasons that they wouldn't see it. One is that the system failed somehow, and two would be that it's sitting in your spam box. By the way, we want to know if it ends up there so that we can get with the email service provider and get ourselves unblacklisted with whoever your email server is. So anyway, at the top right side of PriorityLab.com or InspectorLab.com, either way, you'll see a sign up login link. You click on that, and then in the login, you put in your credentials. Now, if you don't have them, you can get with your account manager and they'll get that to you. If you have a recall check username and password, it's the same thing. So I'm going to put in a test client here so we can just see how it works and log in real quick here. There we go. All right, when you log in, the first thing that you're going to see is a property data page. And what this does is it allows you to submit a mold test, a chain of custody essentially. And lots of people go here and then fill out this form, and it'll show up in their InspectorLab app so that they can do the rest digitally on site and quick. But if you've already submitted a chain of custody to us, it doesn't matter whether it was through our app, through this online feature, through CRMs like NextInspect and ISN, or even through the inspection reporting platforms, which we're integrated with just about all of them. However it gets there, you can go and do a property search in the top right here and just change the property type. It'll default to recall check. Change property type to InspectorLab test. And then if you wanted to put in an address that you were looking for or a last name of a client, really anything that you want to put in there, just put a little bit of data and then press perform search, which I'm going to leave it all blank because this is a test account and there's only 23 properties in the test account. So on each of these properties, you'll see a view and edit, and this just takes you to essentially the data from the chain of custody, by the way, if you click on one of these links. So for instance, this test client on Willow Avenue, if I were to click this link, takes me over to an edit property page, and I can see basically their information and the date of the inspection. If I want a copy of the report, I can just go over to the options and go to View Mold Report. If I click View Mold Report, it's going to open up, and here it goes. Now this has your logo, Home Inspector, at the top right. That can be customized with your logo, of course. So that's what it would normally look like, and it would normally say that it was done and prepared by you, approved by our lab manager, of course, Dr. Shane. And here's what a mold report from Priority Lab looks like, and a determination would be made for each of the samples that was sent in. And again, you should expect that if you send in a mold sample today or an asbestos sample today, that if you're using one of our overnight bags, that it's going to get to us the next day and that it will be out by the end of the day. And we'll stay very regularly until 7 or 8 p.m. in the evening to make sure to get those all out the door. And if you don't see a report by 5 or 6 or 7, it could still be coming. So just be aware of that. Now I'm going to go back to this page here with all of these properties. So you can see every property that you've ever submitted. You can play with these options. You can see the tracking image, for instance. Here's one, and it'll pull up. This tracking image is not the label, but if you were to take a picture of the tracking label in the app, it would show up here, and you would be able to see it. Is basically what this is meant to demonstrate. You can also view email events. So for any property, you can see, was there a report sent out, and who did it go to, and when did it go out the door? So if somebody says they didn't get an email, they probably did. And it could be in their spam box. And again, if you have a client receive something and it goes to their spam, if you have it set up to do that, or if it comes to your email box and hits your spam, get with your account manager right away so that we can take care of that. There's an instructions tab, so that goes through a lot of details, but you want to look at these resources too. So if you click resources and you go to, we'll just look for the mold app. All right, InspectorLab. The third one down in this, and it could be in a different order depending on what you have set up with the Inspector Services Group, you'll see InspectorLab. There's a chain of custody here. If you click on this, this gives you a backup paper form, and it's customized to you. So don't share it with anybody else because it's barcoded to you when you click it and download here. If you'd like a sample report or a customized sample report with your logo on it to share with clients, you can do that. You can see our certificates, all of our accreditations, everything's right here, a pump calibration form, etc. All of it's right here, along with a mold agreement, which you're welcome to use as an InspectorLab client. One thing that's a really nice sales piece, if you're on site, you're doing an inspection, and somebody says, I smell something, or you've noted something visible that is indicative of mold, you lay this in front of them. It's called our mold menu, and it'll customize for a second. So when you log in and you upload your logo, and we're happy to do it for you, it'll customize that, and this whole piece will have your phone number, your website, etc. Let's go to page 2 of this. Here we go. So this is for a test account. Otherwise, it would have your details for contact. But it gives a 3 options for a client: a simple surface test, what it does, what it means, an indoor air quality test, what it does and what it means, and of course the more comprehensive moisture evaluation, a mold evaluation as some of you call it. So that's just one of the features that you will find in your resources tab, and click around. There's a lot of cool stuff that you can add to your website, to your inspection processes, etc., and even materials in Spanish and French and Chinese. There is a Chinese 90-day warranty here. I'm going to show it to you just because I think it's awesome. So you click on that, it'll download, it'll put your logo on it, and that is apparently how you write 90-day warranty in Chinese, in Mandarin Chinese. So that's all out for the tour today. If you need help on mold testing and instructions on how to get started, how to take a test, just go to moldtestingprocedures.com. And if you haven't registered to be a client of Priority Lab or InspectorLab, you can go to inspectionsuccess.net/InspectorLab, or simply go to Priority Lab or InspectorLab.com, and you'll see an email and contact us, and there's even a sign up for Home Inspection University where you can get free training on mold as well. Thank you.